I think those cold opens like that work really well.
All right. Hello, everybody. This is Jim West and Del Ross, and we got a big treat for you tonight. Got Brandon Sneed and Big Mike from Hopewell talking preps tonight. Okay. Oh, just got into intros. Just go intro is bad. Okay. Anyway, tonight is Jim West and Del Ross, and we do have Coach Sneed on Talking Preps Plus. And Del.
OT.
Gosh, I did a plus again. What's going on with
you
me?
You did.
Man?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm getting old. Del, what's up, man?
Another week. I think we're going to have some fun tonight with a few topics. But, yeah. So I guess we don't have any intro music tonight. Is that right? We've been downgraded?
Yeah, we've been downgraded maybe for now. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. But don't worry. We're going to have a good show, though. Del, week three in the playoffs. And, I'm excited about week 3, but I'm also excited about our guest that we're going to have come on in just a little bit.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get him in here. Let's talk with Mike.
Big Mike. Mike, you
go. I'm right here.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
How you doing? I mean, you just had a great season this year.
I'm doing good. Just kind of sad that we lost so early in the playoffs. I wish we still can be playing right now, but it's whatever.
Yeah, let me say something about that, Jim. I thought give it back to you, but I just wanted to piggyback on his comment there. What you got to understand, and you will later in life maybe, is that where Hopewell was and where you are now. So these are like this season to a lot of us is tremendous for what you guys have done. It's a surprise, and it's the building blocks for bigger things. So your success, you did have success this year, and your success will lead to more success.
So I got to ask you, Mike, tell me about those jerseys I see behind you.
Oh, we got a Magic Johnson jersey over there. They got a Kobe Bryant jersey over here. And then it's another one. Y'all probably can't see it, but it's like a Spurs player. I don't know his name, but I really like jerseys.
Okay, I got you. I wonder if it's the guy from, it could have been Tim Duncan, or it could have been the Iceman, George Gervin.
It's Gervin, yeah.
Gervin, oh man,
Gervin,
that's old. Yeah.
He gosh, I think he finished career around 86 or 87. He was pure cash money. Great shooting guard. I'm glad to see that you're a Lakers fan. I don't know if you got to see Winning Time that oh gosh, it was on HBO or whatever it was series for a couple of seasons, and that was a lot of fun talking about the rise of the LA Lakers. But
I did get to go to the Forum and watch the Lakers play in the 80s when Johnson and
James Worthy and
them guys from Carolina and Ashbrook here, and James Worthy, all those guys.
Was Norm Nixon on the team?
Magic Johnson was my favorite player.
Was Norm Nixon on that team?
Was Nixon on that team?
He left, I think, in 84, 85. No, Jamal Wilkes was about the same time.
Nixon had been gone for 3 years, 2 years. Okay, maybe,
I got you.
Something like that.
We digress. This is about Mike right now. Mike, do you play basketball by chance?
I do, but I didn't try it this year because I'm trying to focus more on football.
Okay. Do you do any other sports besides football now? Do you do anything like wrestling or?
I throw for track.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, that sounds good. What's your favorite? You prefer playing offense or defense?
Offense, but defense is fun to play. I love playing both sides of the ball, but mostly offense.
Now, do you play guard or you play tackle on the offensive line?
I play tackle, mainly tackle, but I play guard too.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, you know what? Dell was an offensive lineman machine back in the days, back in the 70s. So this is back when
I was
they
a
had.
fullback. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I thought you were. That's right. But back then
No.
they had 6 defensive linemen that would be on the ball.
No. Although, in our offense, fullbacks, it depended. We ran a T and an I, so we had a red and a gray offense, and our gray offense was I, and really a fullback in an I formation most of the times is a lead blocker. So we were kind of like linemen.
Yeah, exactly. I always, that's the great thing about the fullback, the I formation. You get somebody that's a big guy like Mike that's willing to play fullback. Oh my gosh, Mike, if you have speed, I'd set up you on I formation and just run for people. But in all seriousness, though, you got the right coach there, Coach Sneed. Tell me a little bit about being a senior. Extra responsibilities, help mentoring your fellow class teammates.
Just being a senior, you just gotta just be a leader and just show everything on and off the field. Like think positive, be positive to everybody. And I really think I did my job of being a senior this year and helping everybody out, motivate everybody. And yeah.
Let's watch these highlights here. There's one coming. There's a pancake.
Golly, Mike, you're a machine.
Yeah. So there's your down. This is a downfield. Yes, I noted in your highlights you played both offense and defense.
Yes, sir.
There's a certain play that's one of my favorite plays, and this is it right here.
Oh, gosh.
That's my favorite play. As another head coach was telling us back a few weeks ago, he thinks it's one of the most successful plays in Mecklenburg County. And for you to be able to get out on that play and lead that block like that, you got to have some feet to do that.
Yes,
nice
sir.
Strength. Like I said, I like your base. I love your lower body strength.
Thank you.
I like the way that you're able to get out on your blocks as far as I'm sorry, I'm watching here and somebody lost their helmet.
So just out of curiosity, Mike, how many games did you play on grass this year versus turf?
The only turf game, the turf games we played were, I think, Butler, Huff, and Statesville. And I think that's about it. That's about it.
All right, so playing offense and defense, what I noted on your defense is on the defense side of the ball, you really did a nice job of gap control. Now, I don't know what your scheme is, but it looks like your responsibility is gap control. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what Coach Swag told me. Just to contain both A gaps and just go make a play.
Right. So you weren't always pushing to get upfield. You were pushing to lock that gap down, and exactly. And from what I could see, you did an excellent job of that. You're a big guy, and it's hard for guys to move you around anyway. But so,
yes,
what positions did you play on the defensive line? Which techniques?
I just played. I played nose guard and D tackle, and that's it.
Okay. Which do you prefer?
Nose guard.
Wow.
It's just I just love just playing. Well, playing nose guard is, Nose guard is just really I feel more comfortable in the one technique and playing a three technique because I
Okay,
could
so
just
you
I
got
feel
you.
like I feel like I'm more stronger than center, so I feel like I can just get him off the ball more and control the A gap.
Okay, so in whenever at nose guard, you always played one technique. You didn't play zero
That
straight
well
up.
in some calls I do.
You do, okay. And you also play three technique. You say,
Sometimes, yes, sir.
okay. Uh, did you? So in that sweep, you were at guard. You pulled from guard. How often do you play guard?
Um,
Um, and they don't shift you to guard when they're running the sweep. I hope just to run
no,
the
that
sweep,
was
right?
no, that was just only that game, but uh, I mm, I really play guard, so like you'll probably see me like for a drive or two, and I'm back at tackle.
Okay. And I can ask Coach Sneed this later, but do they ever pull you from tackle, or is it always from guard?
Mm, I haven't pulled from tackle in a minute,
Okay.
so
In a minute, I got you. That play you can pull from both, but most people pull from guard. I think the tradition of that particular offense that's being ran there is to do it from guard. But what are you
So,
thinking about for college?
yeah.
Are you wanting to play, or have you decided where you're going to go, what you're going to do?
yes, sir. Well, right now I don't got any recruit. I'm trying to get recruited right now, so I'm trying to do my best try to get to college. But that's my plan A right now. Get to college and play football.
So, my recommendation, and you take it how it is, but think about college first. Maybe try to combine that with, if you want to play, find a place where you might be able to play and walk on, and that might, the problem is obviously places that you might be able to walk on are going to be like D2 and D3, which can be very expensive if you don't get assistance. It's not like going to a D1 school where the costs are lower, but the competition to plays, being able to walk on at a D1 school is really tough. Especially not having some kind of groundwork underneath you, though. I think what I've seen in your highlights, you definitely look like you could have the potential to play up at a higher level. I don't know if I want to say yet D1 or not. That's I haven't seen enough of you to say that, and I don't know if
Well,
I'm the best judge of
you've
that.
impressed me. I can tell you that much.
Thank you, thank you.
Outside of football, what's your favorite? What were your favorite interests outside of football? What were things you like to do?
Um, really um just chill around, just play the game or go to school or hang out with my friends.
I got you. In the classroom, what's your favorite subject? What do you like to study?
My favorite subject is math. I love math.
Oh gosh, man, I love this guy already. I was a math major, so man, more power to you. Get that math degree. That's awesome. Oh, we got some. Look at this here.
These may be the same. I don't know. Do you ever get down? I'm going to say probably no. You never find a 3-point stance, do you?
Never.
Even at guard, is that right?
Never. I'm always in the two.
Okay, gotcha. I noticed that in the highlights, and it's really become common for tackles to not. See, when I played, everybody was in a 3-point stance except for a tight end. But I didn't see any of that, so I was kind of curious if maybe at guard sometimes you might. But a big guy like you, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I
always in the
wouldn't try
two.
to. Yeah, I wouldn't try to get you down there. None of you guys actually get in the stance, do you? You all are in the two.
We're all in the two. Everybody's in the two.
Okay, got you. Well, you have, in my opinion, though, I don't know You've got a good, from my understanding, you've got a former Butler guy coaching you at line.
Yes, sir. Coach Cam, Coach Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. And Coach Sneed's a really good offensive line coach too.
Yes, sir.
He's probably better. He might be one of the best I know. So you've had a lot of good coaching to be able to help you along. What are your grades like in school?
B's normally.
Gotcha.
B's.
A's too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
One of the first things that popped into my head, though I don't know if it's hard to get into, but when you said math, I thought, well, maybe a Davidson or something like that. But Davidson's pretty expensive. They could probably use a player like you. So.
Oh gosh, I mean, he impresses me. He's got the talent. Mike, I think you can do anything, man. You just you're the real deal. I love seeing those clips about you on the football field. You look like you had a lot of fun this year.
I did. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it really.
Good.
Well, I think I've got everything for now.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I appreciate you joining in here, man. If there's anything we can do for you, just let us know. We want to promote high school athletics, and to be honest with you, you're one of the best interviews we've had this year. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We will share your highlights. I will.
Yeah.
Jim will.
Thank you.
We'll try to help get some more people to take a look.
Well, that was Mike McCollum. I tell you what, you'd always think about Napoleon McCollum from Navy. You remember him?
I do. Yeah.
Golly, he was another stud too. I say what? Let's get Coach Sneed on here if we can. Brandon, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, nothing much. Happy. Today Wednesday. Yeah, it is Wednesday. Happy Hump Day.
Yeah, we're over the hump. Thank goodness.
There you go.
Move on. Fast forward to the weekend.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, guys. Being that I'm over in the Triangle and y'all are near the Charlotte area, was it like 70 degrees up in Charlotte today, like it was here?
Yeah, well, I was just talking about it before this. It's still warm outside. It feels good out there right now.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's not good for the HVAC though. It can't make up its mind outside. So you're either stuck inside and it's hot, or everybody's freezing to death in the morning, one or the other.
Yeah, my wife just came down. She's like, I'm burning up upstairs. Something's wrong with this. I'm like, there's no heat. There's no air conditioning going on right now. Anyway, it is what it is.
I think it's supposed to get freezing again in a couple of days, so I'm not even going to worry about it. I'll just ride it out.
It is. It's going to cycle around on us and, get cold.
You know, like North Carolina, just wait a couple of days, the weather will change on you. So
every time.
There you go, man.
Let's talk about those.
Happy Wednesday. Let's talk a little bit here.
Yeah, let's talk about those stats a minute that we just had up there. Brandon, as long as I've known Hopewell's, there's not a lot of history of being great, having great teams, right? So as I was telling Mike, you got to really look at what you've done this season compared to where you were at. And I'm not surprised running the offense. So what is your base offense?
It's sort of a cliche thing to say now, but I guess I'd have to say we're multiple as our base because we do just a lot of different stuff. We run a lot of, I guess, what most people call spread concepts. Coach Entis, our offensive coordinator, came from Hickory Ridge, so sort of that flavor of what they were doing at Hickory Ridge. There's going to be a lot of different. We run a lot of probably more so the empty sets and things like that than most people do. So we'll go truly like spread out, but then we also go back to what some people call the Butler wing tee or what I'll call the Shuford wing tee. And that's what I call it, but that sort of flavor. And probably one of my only regrets of the season is we didn't really go to that till much later in the year. We didn't start it till about halfway through the year. I do regret that, but that's about the only regret I have.
Barry Shuford, he's a legend.
My most underrated coach in Charlotte Mecklenburg history, without a doubt.
So Mike and Hales both call it Shuford's offense.
Yeah. Well, if Hales calls it that, I don't feel any pressure to call it the Butler wing tee then.
Yeah, no, they all note the origin of that particular brand of the wing tee.
I don't know if y'all, I'm sure they've heard, but have you guys ever heard the origin story of the Schufer wing tee?
I have.
Okay, yeah, the class sitting in a history classroom at Independence High School, drawing up on the notepad when he was supposed to be teaching a history class. That's where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the bulldog come from too. They're still used it to this day. Art teacher at Independence drew it, which is funny when you think about Butler and Independence, but that's where it came from.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you see the interview we had with Mike on here? Have you seen that?
I have not.
So just to give you a little backdrop, at that West Charlotte Mallard Creek game, Mike and I got to talking, and I've had this conversation with Mike when he was at A.L. Brown. This was probably about 3 years before you went there. And I'd asked Mike what was his favorite play then. And
28G.
He told me, huh?
28G?
Yeah, he's like, buck sweep without question.
28G.
Buck sweep, exactly. He's that's his most favorite. What is your most favorite?
Same thing.
Yeah, I figured it would be.
And now we've had some variation in times. Like we talked about previously about the lineage of those guys in that coaching tree, sort of having our own splits and different limbs and branches. But we've ran it sometimes where I sort of went my own way. So a lot of guys ran it the traditional way, like Butler still does. Run the one. Basically, the difference is they pull one guy. Later on, we went to pulling both, like a real buck sweep, both guards. We've done both, but I'm gonna throw it all together and say is that either way is still my favorite play in football. And again, it's probably ran more yards in CMS than any play in any other play in CMS history. Maybe the Veer if you go back to whenever they started playing in 19 whatever, but 28-29G is probably the most yards per carry in the history of CMS for sure.
And I think from what I remember talking with you about, you like the Veer offense too. So
I mean, I like anything that lets you be different, honestly. And that might look different every year, but just being different from everybody else is always an advantage.
So that record that you have there, if you would tell people, give people a little bit of your history as a coach.
Okay.
First, and maybe if you want, why you went from one place to the next.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind. All that's
what it's done for you. Yeah.
Sure. So go back. So I was an intern at University of South Florida. I really had no intentions of coaching football or being around football anymore after playing. I went there and actually worked in the weight room. So that's sort of where I started with that. And we all went with different teams. We worked with the different programs, Olympic sports, football, basketball, everything like that. But I sort of got moved to mostly football, partly because I had played football and I was, as big as those guys. So we got to relate a little bit on that note. So I'd work with the linemen a lot and things like that in the weight room. And just sort of realized how much I missed being a part of a team in general, football specifically, but just being part of a team. I've been on a team my whole life, and that was one of the first times I wasn't. So I think I realized I sort of missed it and came back to Charlotte. And I coached a year at Waddell High School with Quentin Hines. That was my first year coaching. We moved after that year because he took another job, but it didn't work out. I was at Northside Christian, which some people, I remember they used to play football for a while. They stopped. Now they're back or whatever, but they had shut down at that time. So I ended up, Dale got me in contact with Coach Schuford at Olympic and started working there. I coached with him for 4 years at Olympic, and it was great. Loved it there. That's where I went to school. I'm an alum of Olympic High School. And we had a really good run. We won a lot of games. Made some with the state quarterfinal, made some, third round appearance there. We had some really good teams and it was a good program there. Coach Schuford left to go to East Meck. I went with him for 3 years. And that was probably I've reflected a lot on my time at East Meck this past season because it was a somewhat similar situation. East Meck had been really bad before we got there. I think they had won one game the previous 2 or 3 years, and it was sort of a project. and I reflected on that a lot this past season. We actually got to be pretty successful. So East Mac, we won 6 games. We beat Butler. It's probably one of my favorite games ever as a coach. We won, I think, 6 2 years in a row. And then sort of a twist of fate, I guess. After that, I actually went to Butler for a year after that to work with Coach Hales, the offensive line coach there. Part of that was just, you want to keep what you're doing. You want to always progress. You want to always be, sort of going to the, getting better as a coach. I've always been ambitious, I guess you would say. But I think a part of it was just like getting out and doing something a little different. I know it wasn't very different going from East Mac there and run the shoot for Wing T to going to Butler, but it was different because I was going to be with Coach Schufer the same way I had been the previous 7 years. So it was just the time to, to get out a little bit and start getting your network a little wider. And in retrospect, it's hard to leave, but I think it was a really good move for my future, my career. So I went to Butler, was there a year. Then I went to Hickory Ridge for a year with Coach Griner. That was a great experience. And I got to be a little bit of a Griner whisper for everybody. Like I said earlier, they like to talk to me about what Griner does. Everybody calls me first. I don't know why. It just is what it is. But it was, it was a good time. Like we worked together before everybody else knew Griner, and before he was, I want to say famous, right? Quote unquote famous. He had been a DB coach for us at Olympic, carrying his little baby girl around in a baby Bijourn at practice. He couldn't blow his whistle because his whistle was right beside our ears. And that's when I met Sam. And so we go way back, great guy. And he has his own very distinct personality, which I appreciate. I like to be different. I don't mind being different and being who I am. I know he's a definition of being who you are for sure. So,
oh yeah,
I always love Sam for that. And it's, good people.
Dale, I got to ask Dale, look at Brandon real quick. I want you to think about the 1960s, the LA Rams. Who does he look like?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes,
Brandon, you know who I'm talking about?
Absolutely not.
Merlin Olsen.
Okay, I do know Merlin Olsen. I didn't think I had enough of a beard to be Merlin Olsen, though. I didn't know.
Man, your voice is not as – he had a more of an inflective voice, but your voice is not that far. But that beard and the eyes – and even the hair looks so much like Olsen.
Now, look,
that's a compliment, man. I'm a
fan of like the old school stuff, and I growing up, I used to love the NFL films, videos. We get the little VHSs and stuff. But even then, I'm familiar with Merlin Olsen, but not enough that I could know if you're telling the truth or not. I'm a little too young for that.
Yeah, trust me. Maybe our producer can get a picture of them and put the two of you next to each other. But
hey, being compared to Hall of Famers is not a bad thing.
You got that right.
The big one now is this is funny. I don't think so at all, but I've had multiple, especially little kids. They come to me and ask me if I'm Jason Kelsey now. That's the big one right now.
Oh, really?
I don't see Kelsey, man.
I don't either, but I think it's just the beard and being really big in person. They probably just think
yeah, that's
yeah.
I don't know, man. I think if I had a choice to look between Olsen and Kelsey, I'd take Olsen every day and twice.
Well, I don't think the kids know Merlin Olsen though. They just see a 6'5". He looks like an office lineman. They're like, yeah, okay, maybe he's him.
There was somebody. I don't think it was Olsen, but it was somebody in his age. It was asked. He had an opportunity to coach and an opportunity to be announcer, and he said it was really easy. Being an announcer paid like 4.5 times more than did coaching. So you didn't only had to work a few hours a week as opposed to all the crazy hours.
Sounds like a smart guy.
Yeah, exactly.
We know the current pay situation for us, as we've all heard very very much lately.
Well, just out of curiosity, did I wanted to just ask you about the CMS, about the ticket restrictions. Were you impacted at all this year?
So, I guess I'd say, fortunately and unfortunately, I would love to be in games where they felt like that was necessary all season, but we didn't get impacted during the regular season. We didn't really have a situation where we were considered one of those high-profile events. And, it's not – I think there's negatives to it, obviously, so I don't want to say it like that. But I wish – and one of my goals is that, in the next year or two, we'll be in a game where they'd have to consider making restrictions on how many people could go. That's the sort of a goal for me. I want to be in that kind of game. Where people won't be so bad and there's so much of a fear that there might be too many people here, it might be too chaotic. That's what I want to create. That'd be great. I'd see that as a win for sure.
the problem, Brandon, is we don't really know why they are doing this or did this. To me, it looks very much like it's a geography thing,
right?
Because it's been the schools that have been impacted have been Olympic and West Charlotte,
right?
And West Charlotte more than once. And
what is their number with West Charlotte? How many games do they end up having affected by that?
So the Independence game.
I knew that one. That was the first one, correct? The Independence game.
Yeah, that was West Charlotte's first one. Now the first game to get impacted. Yeah. So Independence, North Mecklenburg, and then this past week the Providence game by moving it to 6. Now they gave them an option of move the game to another site, another location, play at 7, or stay at West Charlotte and play at 6. So that even kind of narrows it down to you're targeting the West Charlotte area.
Right.
So I don't know that you want to necessarily be in that kind of a situation because
my thoughts more of this thinking. I wanted to be where they could think it'd be too many people there to be, that's what and that's the end I'm looking at it. Like I want to be where they're like, we got to figure out some kind of accommodations to make this work. That's what I would like for my kids.
I got you on that. That's
the biggest game up to today in Charlotte was the Huff Myers Park game. That's got to be the highest profile game we've had this year because for the conference championship, both teams, all the things that you would look for, and that game was not restricted.
Right.
The West Charlotte Myers Park game this Friday night will be just as big as far as profile.
Right.
And
I would think it'd even be bigger just because of when it's happening. I mean, it'd be the third round. Yeah.
And I don't know, but I went off last week about why things were done and the perception it looks like it's racial, quite honestly. Just boil right down to what it looks like.
Right.
And so I kind of
it doesn't matter what the actual intent is. The perception goes a long way to what people view it as.
Exactly.
You hit the nail on the head right there. Perception becomes what people remember. Facts, different story, but we just don't know at this point because there's no transparency.
That's right. So we spoke the truth about what the perception is, and I got some feedback that CMS wasn't very happy about what was said on this show. But
they called us out.
Well, I don't know.
That's them saying I did not say that. So I'm not making any noises over here. I do not want to get an email tomorrow.
Right. So the bottom line, though, is that maybe this week is not being impacted. So that's one of the things we did want to talk about.
I did know that. Yeah. I knew that. And I think that's great because we're starting to talk about, we're getting down to the nitty gritty of it, the biggest games of the year. And you'd hate for them to be playing in front of 1,000 people when you're talking about a third-round playoff game. So I'm glad they'll be able to play in get the full effect. I think that's great, and I'm glad they do get to do that.
I think that I think CMS should do some type of fundraiser for Charlotte or for West Charlotte. They lost about $40,000 from it all. Maybe the CMS, the people in the administrations, can do some car washing over the weekends. Do something to help raise up some funds. I'm just saying that, because I know that they want to make it even. I mean, they either can be transparent about it or they can actually give some money back to the school for what they did to them. $40,000. I mean, what's wrong with that?
It may actually be closer to 50.
So that was my, the perception aside, or even the fairness of it. I'm not going to touch on that because again, they probably have some kind of metric they use to decide that. And that's not for me to speak on necessarily like why they did things. But again, a little more transparency probably does go a long way in that department. Well, let's talk about money. So, one of the biggest things you talk about going from an assistant to a head coach is you become much more financially aware of what's going on because you have to be. That's one of the big transitions there. And so I've become much more, I don't say money driven in terms of me, but I'm talking about just the program in general. You have to make money to be successful the way, it functions now. between having the nicest uniforms, that's providing the best experience for your kids. You want to do all those things, and that's also how you keep your kids, at your school. Like, we all know how it works. So, like, being a desirable program requires money. So let's think about West Charlotte on that end. So they're losing revenue. Okay, so these schools, especially football wise, are told by their boosters, the school administration, whoever, football's got to be sort of self-reliant in terms of money, because we're going to make a lot. You're going to make the biggest gate. We need to sort of handle our own fundraising. We need to make money from the gate to pay for a lot of other sports or other things in the athletic department. And honestly, I think it gets lost to the casual observer how much everybody else depends on us to make those gates.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like this necessarily took that into account, when that's a big part of high school sports in general. We are very self-reliant as sports and CMS. We're not one of these like counties we're not obviously not single school districts or anything like that where they're pouring money into one school. We need these gates to sort of be the programs we want to be. And I just hope we didn't lose sight of that in these sort of restrictions. That was my big one.
Money talks. Lost sight of it. Now, going back to my time on the Booster Club at Olympic, we had the issue of when David was on JV, he was playing in jerseys that had holes in them, and they were hand down from varsity from I forget how many seasons prior, but they had been worn not just when you played, but I think
probably
even before.
Yeah, I'm sure from even way before I played.
Exactly. So we had an issue the next year to where we needed to raise money to buy jerseys, just to buy jerseys for the JV team. And the hurdles we had to go through to raise money, at Olympic at that time, it was very difficult, as it is, I'm sure, at Hopewell and other locations. You don't have big gates that are helping to fund things. You have to go out and actually raise money. Right. So when you have opportunity to have big gates to bring in money and have them lost, that was, I think, without question, that's going to impact that program, that school, all the other sports. It's going to impact them deeply this year.
Yeah, so I'm sure Sam will find a way to make it work for them football wise, because they are very high profile right now. I know he has supporters outside of the school itself, but think about the sports that aren't really pulling in money themselves. You think about softball, you think about maybe some other women's sports, especially basketball. Probably do okay again because that's a very basketball forward school. They've always been successful. They'll probably bring in gates. But think about like the women's sports and other things we talk about equality in terms of male and female sports. What has that done to some of those sports? That makes it a lot harder for them to function, because I know their gates are going to provide their uniforms in rotation. So a lot of people might not know how sort of it goes, but most places you get uniforms new per like the rotation of the school. So it might be, let's say it's a year for softball to get new uniforms. Well, they just lost all this gate money. They might not be able to get those uniforms in rotation right now. So what does that do for the teams that are up next year? Are they also behind a year? Like, how long does this negatively affect their athletic program? That's a great question, and probably a study and forward thinking a little bit that we can look at after this season.
So if you're CMS, if you're listening right now, what I'd probably do is just look at that mirror, look at that person inside the mirror and just say, how can we make it right for West Charlotte at this point? Do we have something in the budget, maybe some type of contingency funds? My guess is they didn't really think about the money because they didn't care at the time. But, maybe I'm wrong. But, I don't know if I'm right or wrong or anything, because there's no transparency.
Well, there was also a big gate lost at Olympic, the Olympic Palisades game, which means nothing to Charlotte, but it means a lot in Steel Creek.
Steel Creek, that should be a big gate. It should be a big environment. It should be a big game for sure, 100%.
Exactly, and it was not, because it was limited. Ticket sales were limited, so every play, and those are the only games that I know that got impacted. But every game that got impacted, or every school that got impacted, every game, CMS should find a way to provide that lost revenue, because again, you nailed the head, hit the head of the nail when you said all these other sports get funded: wrestling, baseball, softball.
And I know, like at Hopewell specifically, we work well together as the athletic department. I think we all sort of know how we're dependent. We're depend on each other in some way, form, or fashion. Some schools might not think like that, but if you're not thinking like that, and that doesn't mean necessarily cowtail or just defer to football all the time, but understand the impact we have on each other. Though a lot of these schools, I'm not saying you even have to get along all the time, but understand the impact each of you have on each other. That would be my advice for anybody who's teaching, coaching CMS in the athletic realm. Understand our impact we all have on each other, and by sort of lifting each other up, we'll probably go a lot longer.
I agree.
Okay.
I totally agree with you on that.
Before we pivot, we got off task. You had wanted to be a head coach for a long time.
Yep, I had.
And I know I can remember having many conversations with you about that, and you got the opportunity. So what I wanted you to tell us was you've been under program builders,
Yep.
Program maintainers. Newsom maintained at Butler and rebuilt at A.L. Brown.
Yeah, which I got to work there too. That wasn't in my history, but I did get to work there for a couple of years.
So what is it like to take over a program like Hopewell?
Okay.
And rebuild? What are just you don't have to go into great detail, but the basic things you had to do?
Well, I think one, the biggest thing for our kids, like the kids are obviously the most important, is belief. Okay. Having a belief in what they're doing, their belief in themselves and what they could do. I mean, it's easy to sort of say, like, I don't think we can do it when that's what you've been exposed to. And not only that, but that's the experiences you've had, is not being entirely successful. So the biggest thing was just transition our mindset. It was about understanding what we can do, whatever we want to do. And I think that's sort of an overall attitude item we put through our program that's on the field. That's in the weight room. I mean, obviously the weight room is huge for us as well, because that's what I do during the day is in the weight room. But just putting that belief in them that they could do it was the biggest part. And I think you have to think about, when I say that, it sounds sort of simple, but you have to understand you can't just walk in the room and be like, hey guys, you can do it. No one believes that. That doesn't create impact. The impact comes from making them believe in you by being, my biggest things are being honest, always honest and upfront, always. Someone probably, it could be seen as abrasive at times, and that's okay. I don't really mind that. It wouldn't be the first time someone felt that way, but they responded well to that. Also, we're going to put in the work necessary to be successful. And I said, look, and I told them again, back to the point of honesty, this is not going to be the same thing you've done. Okay. If you want to have those same results, we can do what you did, but it's going to be probably a little harder. The intensity of it's going to be increased, and the demands we put on you are going to be increased. And they responded well to that. And then, so that starts to get positive momentum. And then, I want to make sure that, everybody understands all wins aren't quantifiable. We can't quantify all our wins as, the record, because 4-7 is not good enough for me, obviously, and what I want to do. But there's so many wins we had outside of that. Plus, just when you do things you haven't done in a long time, that's obviously a success. So going to the playoffs the first time since 2013, we won 4 games in regular season. That's success. They did in 2019, I think, but it'd been 2013 before that. And so there was measurable success. The kids can see this reality. And I thought it just set a tone for the future coming up. So, the honesty, upfrontness, the directness, and being, I guess you could say, the boldness of it is sort of our foundation. And getting the kids to believe in themselves in the program was that first big thing we had to do.
Okay, one more question.
Yes, sir. I got all you want.
Right. The future. So, yep. You did what you did this year,
yes, sir.
Building and getting them there. What is your plan, what you can share with us,
sure,
to take the kids on that next step of this journey?
Okay. Well, the first thing is a big help for that is we're going to bring back a lot more returners than we did this past season. We only brought back a couple guys that really played meaningful minutes. So we're going to have a lot more guys that are coming back that have played. So that's already a big step. Our continued time in the weight room will be big. I have 95% of my guys in weight training during the day. I think that another year of being exposed to the weight room, the way we do it, and the way we want to do it, will be bigger, stronger, faster. That always helps. I think football is a big, strong, fast game. I think experience in doing what we do, familiarity in terms of offense and defense will be higher. And then it's a little easier to ramp up the intensity now in terms of I can be a little bit more demanding now because I'm not selling a dream now. I'm selling results that we have. So I have something to back it up now. So even if you're always honest and the kids believe you, when there's like results they see, it's a little easier to tighten the screws, I guess you could say. And we've already started that process. So we're going to take what we did. We're going to build on it. We got a lot of guys coming back. And now it's time for me to sort of tighten the screws even further. And, the big thing for me, and I mean, I guess I have a couple main points we talk about, is getting guys back to Hopewell are supposed to be there. That's our big thing. So we have a lot of guys. I know like I said, I know who they are. I know where they play now, and I'm all for doing what's best for you. I'm not saying that. And I want guys, if they feel like somewhere's that much better for them, then so be it. That's great. I'm going to make my program as good as I can where you don't want to leave. But if you didn't ever give us a chance, or you're playing somewhere else, and you're supposed to be at Hopewell, we want you back where you're supposed to be at. And I think that'd be a huge step for us because there's lots of guys that don't play for us that should be, that would make us a lot more successful. And that's one of our big sort of agendas or points on the agenda this offseason is getting them back home. Like, come on back. That's it. Get bigger, stronger, faster, get our guys back.
There you go. More time in the program, that makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. We played a lot of young guys, so I'm looking forward to seeing them sort of develop.
Well, Coach, we're going to go over some of the playoffs. You're welcome to stay with us.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
I'll try to be completely non-biased and, but I'd love to join in and listen to what you guys had to say and contribute what I can.
Dale, I was wanting to play an old game of ours or a game of mine. I called it Sane or Insane. I'm going to give you my picks and in the margin. You tell me if I'm sane or insane, okay? You remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if we can maybe go to the maybe the 1As or whatever, get those scores up. I know Wilson Prep and Kip Pride are playing this weekend. That's going to be a really big game in the East. And although everybody's been talking about Wilson Prep, nobody's talking about Kip Pride. I am going to go with Kip Pride in this game. I am picking Kip Pride by 4. Sane or insane?
Well, I think it's a sane pick, although I like Wilson Prep. And that might be a biased statement because kind of like my thoughts with Thomasville and Kings Mountain and, other places that are letting me down. I kind of have that same latch on to Wilson Prep. So I think it's a sane pick because it's certainly a sound pick. I think Kip Pride from a power ranking in the Max Preps, I think they are the top power rank. So it's actually not an insane pick at all, Jim. I think I would go the other way.
I got you. Northside Northside Pinetown and Beargrass. I'm taking Northside Pinetown by 17. Sane or insane?
Sane.
Okay.
It could. I don't know. Could it go more? Brian, Brandon, if you want to sane or insane about any of this, do it.
Sure. Now I'll tell you right now, especially in the bubble I live in during the season, my knowledge of Beargrass charter football and some of these schools is not great. I do know I'm more familiar with Wilson Prep and the success they've had, so I do know about them a little bit. And I know they've been very successful, and they always have some very good runs, or especially in the regular season. So they also score a lot of points. I did know that. I knew that part. So
Gotcha.
All
right, Jim, keep going.
So my next one, East Columbus and Robbinsville. Yeah. The one thing that's insane that's going to be over a 6-hour drive for East Columbus. But I'm picking.
This is my favorite matchup of the game, the round for sure, just because of the insanity of the drive for sure.
Oh yeah, that is just insane. I'm taking Robbinsville by 35 points. Sane or insane?
Could be worse.
I'm going to say 35 plus.
I think it's going to be a running clock game for sure. Sorry, East Columbus, but you're going to be wore out making that trip, and you're already going up against one of the best teams. So
the drive is definitely long, and is from what I know of Robbinsville, especially, it's probably not going to be a fun night because they are a very physical and very tough football team. very enjoyable to watch. But I just hope the guys at East Columbus, the coaches, the players, they sort of get to enjoy the experience. Like we talk about experiences, this would be a great experience for them going on that trip, going up early in the day. They have to, or they won't make it in time, and getting to go up there and, play sort of a, playing somebody they'll probably never go back there again. So at least they'll get to have that experience to reflect on.
Well, would they stay the night, or would they actually drive back, you think?
I'm thinking they'll probably drive back. I don't know what the cash flow is in Columbus County or East Columbus. I don't know, what that would be. I know they probably get some assistance, but that's still a lot of money to put a team up for anybody.
Well, that's on the eastern part of Columbus County, so that's even closer to it's off of Lake Waccamaw.
Yeah.
So that's a long drive. So they're probably, if it's a running clock, which I guess is probably going to be, I'm going to say the game, if it starts at 7, might be over by 9. By 10 o'clock, you get the buses out, 10:30, 4:30 or so.
4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, probably. They probably need to eat something, I guess. Hopefully Robbinsville will give them a little hot dog from the concession stand, some pizza or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully they go on charter buses and not utility buses.
Yeah, and again, Robbinsville, great program. Love to watch them play.
Yeah.
So we'll go whenever we get a chance. We'll go over the 2A. 2A's got a lot more matches here. Community School of Davis and Murphy. I think that's going to be a great game. Everybody's talking about Community School. They beat Swain County like a drum. Beat them, I think, close to 50 points. I'm still going with Murphy on this one. I think Community School of Davidson might have the most talent. They're playing at Murphy. It's going to be I think it's going to be probably a tough atmosphere. Maybe not as cold as usual this time of year, but I'm taking Murphy by 4. Sane or insane?
That's I think that's the same pick. I'm back and forth on this game, Jim, myself, as far as who I would pick. I think Murphy's probably a slight favorite. Being at home, environment, great team. But I think Community School of Davis has got a really good team too. So I think it's the same pick. I'm just not sure yet who I pick. I'm leaning towards Murphy, but.
Okay.
So Murphy's another one of those teams I think a lot like Robbinsville, where I'm like, man, I love to watch them play as a football coach. I think they're, really enjoyable, great coach team. Community School of Davidson, there's a certain connection there because their home field is about 3/4 of a mile from Hopewell High School. So I drive by it a lot up there. So they also have a very good football team. They've got good quarterback play right now, which is key. And I don't know which way I'll go about it. They're 2 very good football teams.
So the next games here, I'm going to go ahead and do the next 3 altogether. I have Corvian by 13, have Mountain Island Charter by 5, and I have Starmount by 28. Any sane or insane picks there?
14. Well, I follow all of the picks and potentially the scores. I haven't analyzed in depth what scores I would go, but I would probably say 2 to 3 scores would be a Corvian win. So somewhere between 14 to 21 points, I think they would win by. I think all your picks are same. Yeah.
Okay. Any thoughts, Brandon?
About the same. I'm a fan of Corvian. I know they started to score some points later in the year. I think they win in probably a pretty convincing way. I just don't know how many points it'll be by because I know they're a very strong defensive team. They might dominate the game and win by 10 to 14 points, but it could still be a dominant win. I see them probably coming out. I think it'll be a great matchup next round for those the charter school bracket right here.
Oh, I agree with you.
Charter school bracket, yeah.
Well, and the next one is the Tarboro Invitational down in the East. I have Tarboro winning by over 35 points, East Bladen by 16 over Manio. I have Holmes over North Duplin by 4. And Warren County, I'm taking them by 23. Any insane picks, Dale?
How many points did you say, Manio?
Oh, I have East Bladen up by 16 in that game.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to say because I pick for some reason I thought you were picking Manio, and that's why I want to know by how many points because I'm picking East Bladen in that game. So okay, I think you're sane on everything.
I'll take the game. If I was in the East this week, Holmes at North Duplin, that's going to be a really good one. That's over in Calypso.
Yeah. But you picked Holmes in that one, right?
I picked Holmes. I've got Holmes by 4 points.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason,
that's the one I probably. I think I might have to disagree with you on the Holmes and North Duplin. So I don't know if it's insane, but Holmes is another team. We're talking about some really good coach football teams, which I, as a coach, enjoy. Where North Duplin has got a nose guard who's probably, for this level, unblockable. Trayshawn Ruffin is committed to UNC. He's a big UNC commit. I think it's about 350 as a nose guard, 330, something like that. That's gonna be a load there if you're trying to run some triple there versus a nose like that. So I don't, that could be tough.
Yeah.
North Duplin, I was leaning towards they love running. North Duplin. I don't know. North Duplin's throwing a pass this whole year. I mean, they're just
nice.
They've always run the ball like crazy. So we'll go over to the 3.
If the run works, you don't have to, right?
I feel like that's a Duplin County thing. I feel like they all run the ball really well out that way.
They got some good wine and some pigs, and then you got some good wing tee football.
Hey, run the ball and have pigs. I mean, that's a pretty good combo. I mean, it could be a lot worse.
Got that right. All right, we'll go over to the 3As. Let's see here. Once it pulls up, here we go. I'll tell you what, we're going to do with the East this time because that's how I have my scores. I have James Keenan winning by 20. I have Martin County winning by 12. I have Pasquotank squeaking by 2. I was going back and forth on that one, but I'm taking Pasquotank by 2. And I'm actually picking Pender. I'm taking Pender by 11 over Northeastern, which might raise some eyebrows. I'm going a little bit edgy on this East. Any sane or insane picks here?
See, I would pick Kinston, but I'm expecting that will be a good game, so I don't think anything's insane in what you said. It's the same pick. It's the same pick.
I like Kingston as well. They have some very top shelf talent, especially receiver at Kingston this year. Kingston could be probably my pick there. I don't know how was it Pasquotank? That's probably about as I could probably mispronounce that as much as like Worcestershire sauce and that. So
you did right, Pasquotank.
You pronounced it properly. Yeah,
well, only because I heard you. And then I like Pender County as well, 10-1, and then doing it for Burgaw. So going out that way, I always root for Pender County a little bit.
Tom Means, he's been everywhere. He was over at Orange High School, which is about 5 minutes from my house. He was at the Albemarle High School back in Stanley County where I grew up. He's been everywhere. So in the West, my picks are Mountain Heritage by 7. I do have Shelby by 12. I took Walkertown. We love having the S in Walkertown for some reason.
Why is it still there? Exactly.
Walkertown by 10. And I'm taking North Stanley by 7. And maybe I'm a little bit of a homer since I was an 89 grab. But I'm taking North Stanley by 7. Any insane picks, Dale or Brandon?
Well, I don't see anything insane, but I do kind of like Lincolnton. But I don't know. You said 7 points?
7 points.
I can see the game being a one-score game. All your picks are sane. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say everything's sane. West Davidson's pretty good, though. So,
that was be my comment. Whoever wins this game aside, North Stanley coming at 10-1 and West Davidson 9-3. That's a great season for those guys, especially and I was thinking about this earlier with South Davidson. Man, what a year for those Davidson County directional schools that have struggled for a long time. There's a lot of wins out in Davidson County this year.
Yeah, when I was at North Stanley back in 85 through 89, 85 through 88 football season, we won 6 games on varsity and lost 34. So not until 2013 that when North Stanley went down to 1A that they had started going to playoff after playoffs. So
gotcha. Yeah, so not North Stanley, but I have my family. One of my grandmother is from Locust and near West Stanley, so I have a little Stanley County connection myself. So.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, Locust. I didn't go there much when I was a kid. I was over.
I don't know why anybody would, honestly. No offense to Locust, but there's not a lot to go see in Locust or anywhere else in Stanley County, really.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Mara Mountain. That's the reason place to go there. Baden Lake, but 65,000 people, 25 surnames in Stanley County. So we'll go to we'll go to 4A and see if we have any sane or insane picks here. All right, I'll start with the I'll do the West this time. I got Brevard squeaking by 3. Might be surprised by some people. I'm taking Maiden by 2, and which is a little bit surprising there. I'm taking Pisgah by 6, and I'm taking High Brighton by 7. There's got to be an insane pick there, Dale.
Is there an insane pick? You picked Burns? Is that what I heard?
I picked Brevard by 3.
Oh, you picked Brevard, but it's a tight score.
It's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, Burns is a good program, but I think Brevard's really. Yeah, I don't see anything insane about that. I think that Maiden Newton Conover game is going to be a really good football game. You picked Maiden there.
Yeah, in the regular season, Newton Conover won that game in overtime.
Yeah,
but,
so
I think Maiden has a little bit. They're a little bit more balanced than Newton Conover on offense. And that's the reason I'm taking.
I think it's
Maiden.
going to be another tight ball game, one score kind of ball game. So I think all your picks are sane. I think it's going to be interesting watching Stuart Kramer though, because they really did surprise me at least, and I think you too last week. So,
well, I picked Kramer to win that game last week. So. That was
but not by that much.
Not by that much. No.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was going to be like 3 or 4 points. In the East, I've got Reesville by 25. Central Davison, who plays an ugly version of the double wing, but they are very good at it. I've got them winning by 15. East Duplin by 5 or by 6, and West Craven by 20. In that West Craven game, that might be 27. So, any sane or insane picks there, Dale?
I just think that Reedsville might have the potential to win even bigger.
How about you, Brandon?
Think it's insane.
Yeah, so I missed out on the West, so I'm going to go back up there very quickly. But 2 of the Queen City Bowl coaches with us will be in those games. So I think Burns has got Brevard in a tight one, so I will say that. And now Stuart Kramer, High Brighton, I'm hoping for Coach Simmons and Stuart Kramer on that one as well. Made New Conover a great rivalry game. Awesome game.
Yeah.
I'd love to watch one in person one day. Reedsville pick, I think they'll win big. North Pitt, that's the home of Quentin Hines, so I like them. But going back to my Davidson County rooting interest, another Davidson's directional.
Another directional.
Yeah. So, yeah, all those are good.
I gotcha. All right, we'll go over to 5A.
Is Central really a directional, though? Because that's kind of
true. It's not a cardinal direction. It's more of a suggestion, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of there. All right. East Lincoln and Crest, I have gone back and forth on this, but I am going to go a little bit edgy. I'm taking Crest by 4 in this game. I'm taking Hickory by 13 over Franklin. I am taking South Point by 10 over Monroe, and I'm taking J.M. Robinson by 18 over Oak Grove.
Yeah, so
same picks.
Last night, so I had to send my picks in this morning, but last night I was kind of putting my picks together, and I had East Lincoln down as my pick. But when I got up this morning, I thought about it, and what I sent in for my picks, I selected Crest. And now I'm back to thinking again, that's going to be a phenomenal football game. Anybody gets a chance to go, and I still might consider it, but that's going to be one phenomenal game. I like all your picks and pretty much your scores as well. Crest, Hickory, South Point, and JMR. I think all of those have wins. I don't think there's anything insane about your picks because that East Lincoln Crest game is going to be a one-score game, I believe.
Gotcha. Coach, what do you think?
I'm going to go East Lincoln. I'm guessing the highly contested ones in this area. I'm going East Lincoln because they probably got the best player on the field. I always defer to the best player on the field, and that'll be them with their tight end / receiver / whatever he wants to be. I like the other games, good games. Monroe, South Point, I think will be a really good game. J.M. Robinson, I think will be I will go with J.M. I think it'll be a tight game. I'm about 2 miles away from J.M. Robinson right now, so I have a little interest in that. And my son is actually, if he went to high school where he's supposed to go, if he lived where we live at, he would be a J.M. Robinson Bulldog. So I always follow along with them. But I do think they'll get the win this round.
Okay, I gotcha. So down in the East, these are some interesting scores here, or interesting matchups to state the least. And I have Havelock beating Croatan by 6. This is another rematch. I think the first game in the regular season, it was like it may have gone in overtime. It was a really close one. I know that Croatan won that game, but I'm taking Havelock in this one by 6. I'm taking Northeast Guilford by 14 over Rocky Mount. I am taking Northside Jacksonville by 5 over St. Paul's. And I'm taking Hunt by a touchdown over Southern Nash just because I think Hunt's defense is just a little bit better than Southern Nash's defense. Same insane pick still.
Well, if you're insane because I pick Croatan versus Havelock, but I think that's a 1-score game. So I don't think you're insane because it can flip, I think, either way. But I'm picking the other way.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, I've got Northeast Guilford, Northside, and Hunt.
I love the Northside Guilford pick. I think it's sort of great what they've done as a new coaching staff there, and I think they've done a tremendous job. It's good to see them making this run there. Then also the other one I say is Southern Nash. I'm always defer to the Fighting Julius Peppers for the win.
The Firebirds. I love.
I was thinking that as he was going through his not the Peppers thing, but just the fact that Southern Nash is a good football team.
Seems to be most of the time. Another team. There's a lot of teams we talked about so far, and I know it'll change a little bit. They run the football a whole bunch in this third round, so maybe that should tell some people a little something about how football works when it gets cold.
You got that right, and I love Southern Nash. I guess it's been probably 7-8 years ago. I was at a game with Southern Nash playing a team over in Raleigh, and there was a player's girlfriend that got in a bad car wreck, and the head football coach, I think it was Coach Foster was his name. He great man, just a great guy, and he was really shooken up about that. And he actually had somebody. He was more concerned about the girls' safety than he was about the game. Just a great man, great football coach too. They won that game. I think it ended up in a running clock, but that's one of those teams it's hard not to pull for. But I'm taking Hunt on that one just to be a little bit edgy.
Jim, one comment.
Yeah.
The 5A, no blowouts.
No blowouts.
No blowouts. So, we've seen some blowouts in the other classifications. There's a lot of good football games here. Some really good football games here in both the East and the West. So we
have a lot of good matchups in terms of records here, like you said, but also a lot of really traditional names in this bracket too, which is always nice.
Exactly.
A helmet game bracket.
Oh yeah, you got that right. Southern Nash, big name. Rocky Mount, Havelock, Hickory.
If you're near Bowling Springs, that's going to be. I'm going to be surprised that that's just not a phenomenal football game.
I think it'll be tremendous. Yeah, I agree on that.
I mean, just look at the West. I mean, in the last 10 years, East Lincoln, Crest, Hickory, Monroe, and South Point won state championship games. So, just incredible. I'll tell you what, let's venture over to 6A and see what we got here. All right. We're going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to go to the East. I've taken Jacksonville by 3 over Scotland County. And that game, actually, I might be picking the wrong team on that one. I've got Union Pines big over Williams. I got Union Pines by 17. I'm taking Middle Creek over Southern Alamance by 10. And I'm going to go with Northern Nash over 71st by 3. And we love spelling 71st with an FIE in there.
Yeah, fiercest there. I like 71st a lot. Northern Nash is really good. Man, can Scotland not get by Jacksonville? There's some good football games here. A lot of good football games. I don't think you're insane, Jim. I might would flip on a few picks, maybe, but
it's hard not to think about it, though. I mean, two of those games, that the first top two, and that could go either way.
Exactly.
Catholic at Watauga, the drive will be longer than the game. The game will be over about 7:55, though about 5 passes. Maybe some snow.
Exactly.
Jokes aside, it will be a great game. I think that'll be a game that some people might not enjoy as much, but I think a purist heart would love watching a Catholic at Watauga game. That'd be tremendous. I'd love to see Watauga come to Catholic. That would have been an experience as well. Big fan of Watauga and what they do. I would enjoy seeing them versus Catholics. A very interesting matchup, though.
Well, in that game, I'm taking Watauga by 24 over Catholic. I just have that much respect for Watauga at this point of the season. I have Sun Valley winning by 14 over Freedom.
Okay.
I know that's a big one right there, but Sun Valley's just on a roll. Ashbrook, I think they're going to be up again. Dudley allowed over 400 yards against Asper in their victory last week. Asper just kept on turning the ball over and stuff. I think Ashbrook's going to have a pretty good run against Dudley. I'll take Ashbrook by 18. And Northern Guilford, the game I'm going to go to, I think that's going to be maybe a little bit closer than a lot of people expect. A lot of people are expecting a blowout. I'm going to take Northern Guilford by 14.
Yeah, I like all your picks and maybe your margins. I have a lot of respect for Sun Valley.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think Sun Valley. I was just wondering, can Sun Valley maybe make that a 3 to 4 score game? And I think they have the potential to do that. No disrespect to Freedom, but that's an explosive team, Sun Valley is. So
I think those guys are doing a tremendous job with the program in general. Coach Smith and those guys have done a tremendous job. I knew they thought they would have a very good team coming into the year, and it looks like that was true. And then, just looking at this, going forward, if they do win, they have a realistic chance of maybe making a run all the way to, a state championship game. I mean, it'll be highly contested, obviously, but they have a lot of talent there for this half of the bracket.
So, Brandon, what I was told, and you may have heard this, but when Ryan Smith took over, some Valley players didn't lift. They had not been lifting previous seasons. So that's the first thing they had to address is, getting strong. It kind of made me think of a situation way back when David was playing, and we were playing Bruce Harden's Providence team, and I was working the box. So the wing official turned to me and he said, "Do the kids at Olympic not lift weights?" That's how bad they were getting pushed around. And so Sun Valley was kind of in that situation from what they told me over at Sun Valley.
And I hope all the people watching follow along can understand that at this point, of North Carolina football, which has developed so much over the past so many years, lifting weights is the bare minimum. Okay, so you ain't gonna get ahead by just lifting weights. You gotta find the smallest margins to get ahead. If you're not lifting weights, you're so far behind you probably don't see everybody else. And I hope administrators realize that too as they try to get weightlifting class during the day and all that. Think about that when you start wanting results.
Exactly right.
So I asked them, what's the future going to look like here? And the comments that were given back to me, this was when they were playing at Weddington in the playoffs, and the comment was, well, first we got to get strong. we got to lift. We can't even think about doing other things until we get some weightlifting under our belt.
The bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Tell you what, let's go on to the 7As and see what we have here.
Ooh,
all right. In the West, this is the Fight Club here. I'm going to go ahead and tell you Grimsley by 21. I have Weddington by 21. I have Independence by 14. I have Mooresville by 14. I don't see any really close games, but I don't really see any true blowouts either. Saint or in Saindale.
So I define blowouts as 21 points or more. And I realize a 42-21 game may not necessarily be a blowout, but at some point, it's what would be a normally a normal margin that's hard to overcome.
A healthy
late
margin, yeah.
in the fourth quarter. Yeah. So 21 points is normally that margin, though I saw a team here in Southwest Mecklenburg County fall apart with that kind of margin. I think your picks are good. I kind of, Independence could put up more points on Richmond. I don't know about the Richmond team. And having seen Mooresville, I like Mooresville. I love the way they scheme, both offensively and defensively, both. I realize they're playing a good football team, but you said 14 points there, I think.
14,
and
that's correct.
Yeah, and I would not be – so you're saying, but I would not be shocked at all, nor surprised even, if that score got to 21.
Gotcha.
For both the Richmond Independence and for Independence and Mooresville.
Coach Sneed, what do you think?
Well, go through. I think I agree with your picks per se. I'm not sure about the spreads for a couple, but Grimsley, I think, is just playing such dominant football. Probably can not name their score, but they should probably win comfortably. Quarterback's back. I mean, they were undefeated without him, and now he's back, so that's pretty scary for everybody involved. Weddington, love them. Some of my favorite guys in coaching are at Weddington. I think they'll probably win. But I think Lake Norman's got a great ball club, and when you have a great quarterback, you always can keep it close, and things can happen. Independence, I think, probably does win by a little more than 14. I think they could end up making that a comfortable win, but you never know just in terms of what Richmond has. It's not in Richmond County, though. I don't know if Richmond County, the Raider Magic travels as much as it is at home. And I think Independence got a great ball club, so I could see that one probably being a little bit wider margin. And I think Reagan Mooresville, I think it's going to be a slugfest. So I think it might be not a tight game, but it might not necessarily be a wide margin. But I think it's going to be back and forth for a while, and I think there will be some heavyweight punches thrown in that game.
So, Brandon, you better like green if you go to the Richmond Senior Independent. You better like green and yellow or whatever they want to call that color that's yellow.
Absolutely. Right? And we talk about like old school, like helmet games, like traditional matchups. What a matchup with Richmond Independence. That's about as tradition rich as we can get for this part. Like, that's an awesome game. And I mean no disrespect to Richmond about the score, but Independence is playing really well right now. And I know Richmond scored some points, but it's going to be hard to stop Indy if you don't have a tremendous defense.
Right.
Exactly. In the East, I got Gardner by 9 over Cape Fear. I do have Clayton winning by 14 over Conley. That Cardinal Gibbons, Hillside, I'm taking Gibbons by 15. And I'm taking Cleveland by 12, although that game, that Southeast Raleigh team, is a dangerous team. They are a very dangerous team. If there was a team that would pull the upsets in the East, it might be Southeast Raleigh, but those are my picks. Saint or Insane-Dale?
Same. Those are my picks.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say Southeast Raleigh over Cleveland. I think Cleveland's a great team, but Southeast Raleigh, Coach Campbell, that's my guy. I knew when he was a young assistant at Vance High School. That's my guy. I think they have some tremendous players, and I think they can pull that one out. Again, all respect to Cleveland, but I'm sort of rooting for Southeast Raleigh just because of the connection there.
I understand that. That program has really improved. They were a really good team like 15 years ago, and then they really struggled 3-4 years ago. It was tough for them to win a game, and now they're back on raising that pinnacle.
And it's good to see Hillside back up at 9 wins again this year. I felt connected to them the last couple of years because we always scrimmaged them when I was at Mallard Creek. And just seeing their improvement record-wise, I know how they play football. I know it's going to be tough, and it's good to see them having success.
Oh, yeah. Coach Torrey Noel, actually, I went to see him play, or his team play last week, and he's just a great man. I love his wife, too, and his daughter. So, great family. Let's go on to
team that loves to run the football, too.
Oh, yeah. You got that right. It doesn't matter if it's Pamlico, Newbern, or now over in Durham at Hillside.
Jim, this is the NCISAA third round.
Oh, this right here. Yeah. It's the we got the association ones up here now.
No. You hadn't been following along with what Hales has been calling this.
Okay, I got you.
Because you see that the fonts are bigger now because
yeah.
It's all the buys that they're getting, Brandon.
The
Hales is
double
like,
buys.
See,
he's
he's
like,
the kind he can say things that nobody else will say because he can always just step away whenever he wants to, so he can just speak freely. So that's the beauty of being a short timer, I guess.
So he's calling this the private association.
You only got to play a couple games and you're in the championship game.
Exactly.
Hey, he can say that, but I guarantee you nobody else playing a bunch of games wants to go up here and play any of these teams either. Though I bet you that.
So I'll tell you what, let's do. We're gonna go to the East first, and the East. I know a lot of people talked about Rollsville beginning the season, but they just haven't had that quality win against a quality opponent yet. I'm still going with Hoggard. I saw them play. They have a tremendous quarterback. I'm going with Hoggard by 12 points. And Millbrook is my team. I love Millbrook. Jordan's great offense, great defense. But Millbrook, to me, has just got everything. I'm taking Millbrook by 14 in that game. Dale, sane or insane?
I think the Rollsville-Hoggard game might be a little closer, but I think your picks are sane. He's saying even 14 points is not out of the realm of sanity. It doesn't reach insane yet.
Gotcha. How about you, Brandon?
The margin there, I don't know about, but I think Hoggard will probably pull that one out just from what I've seen, especially again, quarterback play is outstanding. And then Millbrook, I think, is probably, in my opinion, from watching them play, they are loaded on defense, especially in the box. They're probably my pick to come out of the East. I think they might get a pretty not comfortable, but they might win enough that they don't have to sweat the very, very end. But I think Jordan's a great team. But I'm going Millbrook. They are pretty comfortable, and I'm going to pick Hoggard there in a tight one.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right, we'll go to the West. These are two games we have left here. I'm going to do the West Forsyth Huff game. West Forsyth, they had a really impressive win against Mallard Creek, but Huff all the way. I'm taking Huff by 26 points in this game. And in the second game, I am picking an upset, a major upset. I'm taking West Charlotte over Myers Park by 17. I was joking when I said upset.
I would not be surprised if Huff pushed it to a running clock. No disrespect, West Forsyth, but if Huff, the ifs. Huff plays a clean football game, meaning penalty-wise. That's going to be a tough night for you guys. The West Charlotte Myers Park game. So I think your pick is sane, Jim. Sane Jim. But it wouldn't surprise me if it found its way to creep up a little bit higher. That Myers Park West Charlotte game, I was at the Myers Park Huff game. I know what Myers Park has the potential to do on defense. That defensive end is phenomenal. Have you had a chance to see him play, Brandon? Kid going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, they're in our conference. So I got to see them all.
Oh, that's right. So you got this. That's right.
This bracket is our two of our losses here. So yes, I'm familiar.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Yep, new conferences.
Myers Park's problem in that Huff game was finishing. So they finished with field goals instead of touchdowns and got themselves in a bad situation. Quarterback got knocked out, and then the wheels came off the cart for them. But they played phenomenal defense. West Charlotte's defense is just absolutely, man, that's a strong defense. 3 pick sixes Friday night. One of them got called back. Probably shouldn't have been called back, but 3 pick sixes and a shutout. And I see that defense playing great again. This game, I don't think this game is going to go quite like the Huff game did, meaning that into the fourth quarter, it's a nail biter, and Myers Park is still in range. So yeah, there's an upset with West Charlotte here.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. West Charlotte's going to upset Myers Park by 17. That's my song, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, Coach.
Yeah, so this one's again, I got two of our conference foes here, so our conference is looking real good in this bracket right here. So I'm proud of that. Good for those guys, great guys, Coach Baker and them. So I'm gonna talk about the West Forsyth Huff game first. I think Huff is a win it. I do think there's gonna be a little bit of a body blow effect going on. Like I think Huff will wear them down a little bit, and I know the West Forsyth crowd and their fans and the team is excited. And they think they have a shot, which is great. And I know they've been talking a little bit, which is always fun. And I'm gonna tell you what, watching them last week against Mountain Creek was the first time I got to watch them thoroughly. And their defensive line is very impressive. Okay, just as good. We're talking about anybody else, like the guys at Myers Park. I mean, West Forsyth's got Georgia going. Defensive end going to Georgia. So don't think they're gonna get out there and get bullied. They're not gonna get put. They won't be just accepting defeat for sure. They have some guys, but I think overall Huff's talent is probably unmatched in terms of depth of it right now in North Carolina. And I think they win. And I think it will be a little bit. These are both heavyweight fights to me. Measuring up in the middle of the ring, there's not gonna be a lot of flying around, all that kind of stuff. They're gonna line up, look at each other, and throw some haymakers. But I think Huff will pull it out there. And I'm not gonna pick the Myers Park West Charlotte game. I'm gonna abstain from that one.
Yeah. I got to tell you what happened to me at the Myers Park Huff game. I'm on the sidelines, and Ben Garrity was there, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm talking with a guy that interfaces with us on Twitter, etc. And I don't know the AD at Myers Park, so it could have been the AD. But guy comes down to me. The ball is at the other 35-yard line, and so I'm still on this side of the 50, down, just standing on the inside of the box. Maybe.
Okay. What game did you say this was? I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
This was the Huff Myers Park game.
Oh, okay, Huff Myers Park. Okay.
So he comes over to me and he says, You got a headset? And I said, No, I don't have a headset. Why? He said, Coaches say they hear you on the headset. I'm like, what? And you know me, that's one, integrity. I'd never do such a thing.
Yeah.
But two, no, I didn't have a headset. And he kept telling me, well, they said they can hear you. I said, I don't know how they can hear me. And it just went on and on. So not yet, Jim. We're gonna do the picks. But anyway, let's get the picks up. This week's picks. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So these are the picks.
Yep. Mooresville, yep. Indy, yep. Sunfeld,
Langston,
yep.
Langston matched me 1-for-1. What did Nate do? Nate, West Charlotte, Mooresville, Indy, Sun Valley, East Lincoln. So I'm gonna tell you, there's two of them picking East Lincoln, and I'm back and forth on that one. And South Point, Gary's picking Monroe, and so did No Limit.
You and Chris picked the same teams.
They were cheating off each other. That's all. They were looking at each other's paper.
Well, I see what I picked. All of them.
Me, Chris, and Langston picked the same teams. So we all have the same picks. The other guys have a deviation.
Well, most of y'all, Gary's the same way except for Monroe South Point.
The game that I would have done is throw in like Burns versus Brevard. I think that game you might have 3 going one way, 3 going the other. That one's going to be a really good one.
And Burns is, I guess, in the Observer area too. So.
Yeah, it is. Because it's right there in with Crest and all those guys. It is out of the area. Okay.
Out of the area.
That's out of the area. These are targeted towards where the readership is, where the subscriptions and all are. So that's Cleveland County's getting out there, and that part of Cleveland County is really out there.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about Lincoln County being East Lincoln and Crest. So I was thinking about Crest being Cleveland County as well, but I forgot they were playing East Lincoln. So that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So East Lincoln is that's going to be a good ball game, Brandon.
If I was going to a game, I would probably go out to East Lincoln and Crest. I think that'd be a great game. If I wasn't staying in Charlotte, because I could say that, but I think that might be the non-traditional game in terms of like West Charlotte, Myers Park, going to Huff. I think East Lincoln and Crest would be a tremendous football game.
I think so. I think that's just going to be a knocker.
And Dale, what game are you going to?
Well, this game, East Lincoln Crest, is like at the top of my list. I'm on a limb as to where I need to go. So I'm not sure yet. It's right now. It's between West Charlotte and Crest, and Bowling Springs.
Put a dude rag on. Wouldn't it be cool to put a dude rag on Dale's head? That'd be pretty cool.
So I thought about Christian and Providence Day, but I think that East Lincoln and Crest will be a better football game than Christian and Providence Day. That's why and then the West Charlotte and Myers Park, it really comes down to supporting. I got to think ratings. I think the West Charlotte Myers Park game just comes down to a continuation of supporting the targeting of West Charlotte. We've been speaking out pretty heavily on this, Brandon, pretty heavily about what is happening and pressing CMS to address it. So I don't know yet, Jim. I want to see a great football game. I just getting out to Bowling Springs and getting back in time that's a hard one.
It's not a bad drive, but it's just if you have to be back by time, it could be a little bit out there.
I do, because we do
I know.
Friday night show, right?
Yeah, so, I'm aware.
Yeah,
so you get to go. Hey, you can go to Bridges on your way though.
Well, that's the positive. I can go to Bridges, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the definite magnet that says come here.
Yeah. Go to New London and watch North Stanley and West Davidson play. You can stop over Whispering Pines Barbecue. I already solved everything.
I like Whispering Pines, but if I'm picking barbecue, Red Bridges is better.
I got you.
So,
love Bridges. Also, I think a game we hadn't talked about a lot, but if I was talking about going to a game, Maiden Newton this week, Newton College, a tremendous game too to go see. I think it's a great environment, sort of traditional matchup. You know, the sort of, again, a helmet game. I think that could be a tremendous pick as well.
Tell you what I'm looking for, the 7A regional potential matchup between Grimsley and Weddington. That's going to be a fun game to go to, and I'll be there. I hope.
If they get there, I'm not on playing.
If they get, potential. So
that would be a great game.
All right.
Yeah, there's more bumps in the road in 7A that people have to kind of get over. So.
Oh, it's a fight club. It's a fight club. It's brutal here. So a lot of different opportunities for state championship games. 4:00 and 8:00 on Thursday and Friday in Carolina.
The 4:00 game is that's awful for Thursday.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, it's fine for guys like me that can, drive from my house and get to the campus in 20 minutes. It doesn't bother me, but for the rest of the state, it's got to suck.
Yeah, you think about those Eastern teams. You're talking about what they say. I think it's 1 or 2A and 8A are in Keenan, correct? Or is it 1A and 8A?
1A and 8A first time.
Yes, you think about the smaller schools probably coming from the mountain area of some kind that way. 4:00 on a Thursday. That's tough.
Oh, Robbinsville. I mean, gosh, that's going to be I think it's probably 5.5, 6 hour drive, if I remember correctly.
So what I'm hearing is if you're in the East and you really love football as administrator, you got to go ahead and let everybody out of school early to go ahead and drive down to the game. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, in like Newburgh and Havelock area, they'll close down downtown that day of championship game.
I'm talking about
Everything
Robbinsville would have to close the whole school down and just let everybody drive down there together a little early to be there at 4 o'clock.
They'll have to close the whole county down. Graham County will be closed.
Problem solved. Cancel Keenan Stadium on Thursday, and either play at Panther Stadium or UNCC.
Or
play it there.
Play it at LR. You already got Lenore Ryan. That'd be, that's a lot closer for the eastern side. I mean, the western side of the state, excuse me. I say eastern, I meant western. I was speaking backwards. But, coming out of the mountains, that'd be a great compromise to go to LR.
That would be a great compromise. And then that's not bad for the 8A teams to go up there and play either. So,
yep.
Exactly.
I think I might make an appearance and go to a championship game at LR this year just because it's different. So I've never got to go there for the state title games. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be really cool one here. So, Dale, I think this is the time. We've been here for about an hour and a half.
Yep, it's that
final
time.
Thoughts?
And man, I don't know what final thoughts tonight.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
I hate to harp, but I'm going to have a couple of short thoughts. One, we don't have limited games this week apparently at West Charlotte, and I'm more, as I look at it, I see a game last week that is less of a high-profile game than the game that will be played this week. And last week they had to play at 6 o'clock. And this week there's no restrictions. Not that I want restrictions, but if you're going to restrict one of the two games, the big game is this Friday night, not last Friday night. It makes no sense as to why we're doing this. It's almost like it's all knee-jerk reaction stuff, and certainly targeted. So this didn't do anything. I'm glad, CMS, you did not limit, but all you've done is just make it even more of a question mark as to what in heck are you doing. You don't target the highest profile game we've had to date, which was Myers Park enough, and you're not targeting this game, but you targeted last week. So that my other final thoughts is this young man here that we have on with us. I've known him for a long time. I've always thought he was a sharp guy. I had coaches tell me how sharp he was. I saw a coach turn over the reins of offense to him that you would not know to ever turn the reins over, period, because of how sharp he is. So my final thoughts for tonight are I'm glad to see young people that have a goal, and he has wanted to be a head coach for a long time, that I know. And it was all about how is he going to be able to make that happen. And here he is, he's made it happen. And he's turned a program. He's helped start the turnaround of a program that needs to be turned around. And who knows, can maybe take it into some prominence. So really my thoughts are, as with always, I like to see people set goals and achieve the goals. That's why I go on Friday nights to watch players and coaches. I watch coaches as well. It makes me feel good to see coaches achieving as much as it does seeing a kid achieve on the field. So really that's my final thought my final thought.
There's so many ways you can get up with us over the next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Fridays. This Friday, 11:30. I know it's going to be late for a lot of people, but you wouldn't believe how many people stay up to listen to us just banter about whatever on our minds. Usually we're just so tired and in a stupor, but people seem to enjoy us doing that. So and this is Talking Preps OT. I know I keep on calling it Talking Preps Plus. It's some type of mental defect I have among many. My limitations are limitless. Oh gosh,
where it's wrong, Jim? I thought about this last night, and I'm like, really, games are played on Friday night. We come in after the games. Isn't that OT? So it's OT part 2 or something, maybe the second overtime. Jim, I'm going to tell you, on Friday nights, I usually can't get to sleep until about 5 in the morning because I'm so hyped up.
Yeah.
My energy is so moving from the game that I don't let down. So I know you're tired. For me, that's why I can keep on going. Brandon, you can join us on Friday nights too, you know.
Hey, that was really my real goals here is just to start. I want to get the invites to come back. I want to be like I want to be the next Sam Griner. That's my goal. I want to be invited all the time to talk.
You want to be the next. You know who is really good at this, and that's Joe Evans.
Well, Joe's good at a lot of stuff. So Joe's a great guy, a great football coach. So
yeah. So Joe has actually been on the show hosting as well, and we had him on a few weeks ago. The new Talking Preps OT co-host. You know what? I got no problem with it. You don't want to be the
good
next
person. Jupiter was really good. So just agree on that. But
I want to have Jupiter. I want to have Jupiter on to talk about what he's done at Guaranteed.
So, guys, there's so many things that you can catch up with us the next week from Jim West, Dale Ross, and Coach Brandon Sneed. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch up with you later on this week. Take care.